What up, friends? So, yesterday I took a pretty nasty fall right here, nasty spill. I'll show you. So, that path all right there, see, it goes all the way over there. It's all ice now, right? And then you can't even see the ice here, but that's all ice. So I hit right there and zoom! I landed and, I dinged up both my wrists a little. I landed on my elbow, my right elbow, and jammed my shoulder and my arm up into my collarbone, where years ago I had a broken collarbone because of a freaking bar fight. And so it made that sore, both my wrists are a little messed up, but it kind of fixed this little jam that I had in my neck, right? And so now, because I was thinking about it, and there's a path that everybody travels, right? It's all worn down, it's all ice. Now I walk up in the snow and on the roots and stuff, because the path less traveled is safer right now, right? And a lot of times the path less traveled can be tough, right? Because at first we don't know where it leads, right? But if you're on someone else's path, right, it's been packed down, it looks good. It looks like, oh, look at that, all the debris out of there. It's nice and flat, smooth, too smooth. But it's like working a job, right? People feel like, I work 50, 60 hours a week, right? But you're on someone else's path to success, right? I mean, yeah, you might be well compensated for it. You might get some benefits. But as soon as their path to success is barred somehow, whatever it is, they're not gonna give up their success to help you pay your mortgage, to help you pay off your car note. They're gonna cut hours, they're gonna cut pay, they're gonna cut bennies, all kinds of stuff, because they're not gonna, they have a dream, right? They have a dream of whatever it is, right? But it's not your dream. You might feel like you're part of the team, sure, but there's no I in team, right? You're part of their team. They're not on your team. So you gotta be your own teammate, right? You gotta be your own coach, your own captain, You gotta, I'm not saying quit your job and start up your own thing, whatever, like do what you gotta do in order to make ends meet. But just know that once that path that's most traveled becomes difficult for the person who's paying you to travel that path to success anymore, when they fall, they're gonna land on you. They got that little buffer of your body, your freaking dreams, your hopes, right? And they might be nice about, like, oh man, we'll give you a chance if we ever pick back up and blah 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 blah. But meanwhile, you gotta sit there and wait. What are you doing today to clear your path, right? To walk on ground that others aren't traveling on. It's difficult. You fall down 9 times, you get up 10. You fall down 10 times, you get up again. You get up that 11th time. You keep getting up, right? They fall on you. I mean, yeah, you can get up, but you're probably not going to get up with them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to work on yourself. I know when I was working construction, I was working hard labor, in the laborers union, building scaffolding. It's just a bunch of heavy lifting and erecting the stuff and sending it up on ropes and all this stuff. And we were working 50, 60 hours a week, sometimes 70 hours a week, and then like I started feeling complacent, right? Like I wasn't going out after work anymore, and I'm not saying like to bars or anything. I'm talking about when I wasn't drinking or drugging, somewhat. I wasn't going out to exercise, right? I was like, man, I work 60 hours a week, man. It's a hard labor job. But I wasn't keeping my physical up with the demands of the job. Eventually I got injured, and then eventually I couldn't work as many hours. OT was everything, and I couldn't really work it anymore. And people judge you. They're like, oh, got hurt, so now you can't work 70 hours a week, blah, 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 or whatever it is. And maybe you don't want to work 70 hours a week, right? Maybe you want to work 40 and go home, spend time with your kids. Maybe you want to go home and write that book you've been always thinking about writing, right? Maybe you want to go home and start a little side gig, that can turn into a business for yourself, where you're following your path to success and not somebody else's, And a lot of this stuff you can still do while you're working for others, But you got to have your eyes on the prize, And part of that, I think for me, is the love of the journey, right? The destination, yeah, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like going on a road trip, right? I love the trip there, the trip back. Once you get there, it's kind of like a letdown, right? Even when it was Disney, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? But the road trip, that was what it was all about. Stopping and how you deal with each other in the car, the music you listen to, the conversations you have, the laughs. Like all that, that's life, right? That's life. That's what we should be striving for, right? Our own path, our own journey. Appreciate it. Again, you fall down 9 times, you get up 10. You fall down again, you get up that 11th time. You keep getting up, and eventually, with your persistence and your willpower and your determination, you will succeed, whatever that success, seems to be, or you want it to be, I fell yesterday, and I was talking to one of my clients at the shop, and because I started opening up on my days off now, and he's like, well, he's like, you look like you're babying your right arm a little. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. Whoa, you see what I'm saying? Don't pay attention, right? We fall into this sense of security because it's the path most taken, right? But no. But anyway, he's like, yeah, you take tomorrow off. I'm like, no. He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I've already taken all my days off. I always took days off, right? I never pushed as hard as I could push. I never saw where I could go. I never enjoyed the journey. It was always, well, if I get to here, then I can do this again. If I do this, then I can do that, right? It was never enjoying the journey, right? I just did another freaking 30 push-ups, right? Like, my second round, and I come walking up to the spot where I do them, and I'm like, but I'm like, fucking do those push-ups, man. Don't be a bitch. Does it hurt my shoulder a little? Yeah, it hurts a little. It's all right, though, It's what are you gonna do to make your life extraordinary, right? Extraordinary. Do you want to be ordinary, or do you want to be extraordinary, right? And I'm not talking necessarily in the eyes of others. Like, that's great. If others think that you're extraordinary, awesome. That's great. But I gotta feel it first. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, push that out to other people with my actions and my how I speak and how I carry myself and my appearance. I'm not gonna do that if I don't have it on the inside already. You know what I'm saying? So get off that path, get off that iced up, clean looking path, right? It looks nice and clean. It looks safe and secure because you're caboosed right up to somebody else, They've been traveling that road, but again, they're not traveling that road for you. You're following in their path, right? And that doesn't mean that you're going to get to where they're going to get. They're always going to be up here, So you gotta break out from the norm and do what you want to do. We're here for a very limited time. Enough days off, right? Slept a third of my life away already. I spent time in jails and institutions, right? That was a big part of it, and that a big part of my youth and in my 20s and my 30s. And then, I don't have any days off. I don't have any time to sit back rest on my laurels and wait for things to happen, right? I got to make it happen, right? And the first step to that was me putting down the drugs and then picking up my physical, fortitude, right? Start exercising, take care of my mental, take care of my heart, take care of my physical and my spiritual. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know we a lot of us work really hard, man, but you got to do for you. Are you working for somebody else, or are you following your dreams? All right, peace, everybody. Have a great day.